Shelton Benjamin, open the door.
If you come at the king, you best not miss.
Acknowledge us.
Hey, we here at the red carpet ring talking about NXT versus AEW Dynamite Halloween results. We're here live for Facebook and X, and yes, we're here at the red carpet ring talking about NXT versus AEW. We're talking about those shows for the week. What are the best? How the numbers come in? Who won what? So let's get into it. So before we get into it, guys, you know I'm going to ask you to do that simple task, and you guys already know what that task is. Let's get into that short.
Not real.
Trust me.
But that doesn't do anything, man.
Yes, we are here. So let's go over the show. See who came in before we get into it. Mr. Approach Alpha Channel, salute to you in the clouds. DJ, salute to you. Mr. Goodbread, salute to you. So let's talk about AEW versus NXT, guys. Now, we got the cards here. Let's first go over NXT viewership. Now, the viewership here, just the headline here, guys, talks about how it came in up against World Series. Viewership drops to the lowest level yet on the CW and lowest in 3 months. Yes, due to the World Series between the Yankees and the Dodgers. Yes, NXT and AEW, they were affected. But let's see what else this says in the report. It said last night's 1029 episode of NXT on the CW broadcast network averaged 588,000 viewers compared to the 702,000 prior week and the 639,000 the week before that. The current 10-week rolling average is 687,000. NXT went up against the World Series Game 4 between teams representing the two biggest U.S. markets, Los Angeles and New York. 1 year ago, this week, NXT drew 674,000. The 10-week rolling average a year ago was still 763,000. 2 years ago this week, NXT drew 670,000. Then the 10-week rolling average was 686,000. So this was the match card for NXT, guys. Numbers did plummet, but it was still a solid show. As you guys know, that's the match card. Zaria, formerly known as Delta, had her first match in NXT, her debut match in NXT against Brinley Reese. You had a casket match between Tatum Paxley and Wendy Chu. We had two championship matches on NXT. We also had Charlie Dempsey, NXT Heritage Cup champ, versus Texas King, the challenger. And of course, the main event was, as they call him, Fraxium, Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus the team of Javon Evans and Cedric Alexander. But it was a very good show. I talked about that. Those were the highlights of the show. I know, like I said, this is what the main stuff they were shooting for. But like I said, I know that we are setting up as well for the NXT episode next week, which will be in the old ECW Arena 2300. Now, I talked about that. I talked about how well that's going to bring in good numbers. Let's definitely talk about it. But I think it's going to do well. I mean, if you guys remember, the match card here for next week will be highlighted right here. A lot of good matches, a lot of good stories, a lot of appearances by former ECW legends as well, guys. A lot of good people that's going to show up. If you guys remember, let's look over that real quick, shall we? We'll look over the match card for next week. Now, here we have the 10-woman tag team. You got all those women on one match. You got Roxanne and Cora, Fatal Influence versus Zaria, Julia Stephanie Walker, Jordan Grace, and Kalani Jordan. And we have the hardcore match, special guest referee, ECW legend Dawn Marie versus Lola Parker versus Lola Vice versus Jada Parker, excuse me. Then you had a tag team match, the NXT champion Trick Williams and Bubba Ray Dudley teaming up for the first time ever. Bubba Ray Dudley, and also ECW legend, versus Ethan Page and Rich Holland. So this will be Wednesday, not Tuesday as stated before, and then we'll go head to head against AEW Dynamite. So it really will be a head to head next week. But show was solid though. Like I said, it did plummet. I give it a yeet for good effort.
Yeet.
However, due to the ratings plummeting, it goes on the list.
You just made the list!
So yeah, guys, it was definitely a big difference. Definitely a big difference maker in that. But other than that, let's get to AEW. Let's talk about their stuff there. And the AEW was the Fright Night episode. This was the main card. Main event was Swerve Strickland, former AEW World Champion, versus Shelton Benjamin, 1-on-1. Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, but this was the main event, though. That's what they was running with. But since we did have that, since we had that match there, however, it still shows that they still try to put on a good show. Now, not only, if you guys remember, not only was this the main event show, if you look at the card here, I'm sorry, that's for next week. If you look at the card here, you had the Young Bucks defending the AEW World Tag Team Championships. You did have against the Private Party. You have Orange Cassidy went live. Camille went 1-1 against Chris Statlander. Adam Cole in his return match from injury against Buddy Matthews. Then we hear from Adam Page. But let's see how the ratings did, however, for that. Let's talk about AEW viewership, shall we? Now, it says here, AEW Dynamite rating steady. Viewership slips against World Series. Now, let's be clear. Not trying to pick on AEW, but NXT as well. The fact of the matter is, both shows were affected by World Series. But let's see what else is said here. Let's see. Let's read this article, see what it says about this whole matter right here. Now, it says here that according to Wrestlenomics, it says that it saw its ratings hold even against World Series, while the audience slipped a bit. They talk about the demographic. Wednesday episode scored a 0.19 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic and 628,000 viewers per Wrestlenomics. So they did do better than NXT. Let's talk about that. It says, though, however, those numbers were even with and down 1.4 respectively from the previous week, 0.19 demo rating and audience of 637,000. Demo rating was slightly down from the 0.2 2 weeks ago, while the audience was the lowest for Wednesday night airs July 31st episode. It did on 609,000. The show was up against the final game of the World Series. On Fox, we did a 4.25 demo rating and 18.152 million viewers, as well as NBA game between Boston and Indiana, 0.34 demographic, 1 million. So it was affected not by one, but two sports. Sounds like here on Wednesday night for AEW. Now they did pull in 620,000, but let's talk about it here. You did have the debut of Bobby Lashley. You have the Hurt Syndicate reuniting. They're going to be on next week's episode. That's going head to head against NXT. It will be live. They will be talking about, have a segment there, however. So that's going to be very, very interesting to see how that's going to be done with the Hurt Syndicate, now formerly known as the Hurt Business. And also, Bobby showed up at the main event between Shelton and Swerve Strickland. He definitely made an impact on his debut night.
Here. Bobby Lashley. The fake from Shelton Benjamin opened the door for Bobby Lashley.
So that was the whole deal with that. Now we're going to see Bobby Lashley. You know, the rumors are over. It is official. Bobby Lashley is part of the AEW roster. As they say, Bobby Lashley is all elite. That is official now. Now, I said it before on my other channel, Toss Ring Scandal, that Bobby will have a future feud against Swerve, and they already teasing that. But despite all of that, he did show up. He made an impact, but there is a but to the story. Now, since he did debut, remember, they only pulled 628,000 viewership for the October 31st, not just that episode, but Fright Night. And even with Bobby Lashley debuting, I understand about the World Series and NBA game, but this is Bobby Lashley, man. This is the almighty, the two-time WWE champion, the former ECW champion, the former TNA World Champion. He couldn't even pull at least 800,000 and above viewership. He should have got way more views than that. And since he didn't, we already know what list he belongs on.
You just made the list!
So he definitely made the list. That's low ratings. Definitely. Mr. Goodred says sloppy segment. It was low ratings. Yeah, that's a low rating for Bobby. And like I said, guys, this is your Fright Night. This is Fright Night Dynamite. So catchy, right? But you can't even pull that. With this, just even without Bobby being there, you still had Shelton Benjamin. You know, you had him going against a former AEW World Champ in the name of Swerve Strickland, and you still couldn't pull views. Now, yes, you did beat NXT, who's only pulled 599,000, but not by that much. 29,000? Really? Come on, that's terrible. But let's see what else happened on in this card. Let's see. We had this match. This is a match for another next week match they're having. They have Takashi and Kyle Fletcher versus Ricochet, the mystery partner. That's crazy. Ricochet just debuted in AEW over a month ago, and it seemed like it's like he's forgotten already. I mean, it's almost like he doesn't even go there anymore.
You standing here, and you don't even go here.
That is wild. That is definitely wild. That it comes down to that he should definitely at least get some type of recognition. Now, meanwhile, there's other stuff going on too. We have the Hurt Syndicate have their new T-shirt. They have the new T-shirt going on. The Hurt Syndicate looks so cool, right? Shop at AEW.com. Let's see what else going on. Now, we know the Private Party, they have won the AEW World Tag Team belts from the Young Bucks. This was in the main, wasn't main, I forgot what show that was in, but they have a four-way contendership series. AEW in these series matches, all these tournaments, I am so tired of this. They always gotta have a tournament. Like, that's the best you could do. Have y'all noticed that? They always gotta have a tournament for everything. Whether it's for the Continental Championship, whether it's for the AEW World Championship, the Eliminator match, whether it's for the Women's World Title Eliminator match. I mean, almost every time you have in this company, it always gotta be a tournament. Like, you don't have to do that every single time. I know WWE does it too, but they don't do it to this extreme, guys. Well, let's see what they said on here. It says on Collision was the Outriders versus Top Flight. Then on next week Dynamite, FTR versus House of Black. Then the following week on Collision, whoever their name is, versus the Acclaim. Probably some Callion, probably some stupid group, probably some mess from ROH. Then it said get winner face private party in the AEW World Tag Team Championship 4-way. I'm like, come on, man. Congratulations to Private Party, by the way, but winning the tag team belt. If you guys follow Private Party, to me they look like a knockoff Street Profits. That's what I think they are. Every time I see these guys, they remind me of these guys here.
And that is undisputed.
Yeah, they're like a knockoff version of Street Profits. But other than that, though, guys, this was their highlights, and they still couldn't pull enough viewers. This is terrible. You have all this going for you, and you have nothing. You got new Hurt Syndicate. You had a main event. You have Ricochet in the match next week. I mean, this is what can y'all do right over here? What can y'all do right? What can y'all do right? That's all I want to know. CBR6, what's up to you? Yeah, this is terrible, guys. I did see Swerve versus Shelton Benjamin. Solid match, by the way. I also saw Adam Cole versus Buddy Matthews. Solid match, but Adam Cole, he's still limping around. And it's getting to the point where Adam Cole it's almost cringe to watch him now. I know he came back from that ankle injury. It's been over a year, but it seemed like we need to throw in the towel when needed. And I would have to say, Adam Cole, you need to retire, baby, because that ain't it for you no more, man. I'm sorry. I don't see it because they try to play it off. He just was limping. Like, he's very, very fragile. And I can see why Vince McMahon was very hesitant on bringing Adam Cole to the main roster when he was supposed to get called up in 2020 to be Keith Lee's manager, and only to have him be a manager and work his way up to become wrestler again, because he just is always injury prone with him. Always, no matter what the case is. I mean, Adam Cole's getting to the point. Who told you it was open mic night?
Who the hell told you tonight was open mic night, bitch?
It's sad. How old is Adam Cole? Adam Cole, I believe, is 35 years old. So he's getting up there in age. He's been wrestling for 10 plus years, maybe even 15. I know he wrestled for over 10 years because he was in WWE for 17 to 21. He was there 4 years. He'd been AEW for 3 years. Then before that, he was doing Ring of Honor and all the independent stuff in Japan. He's toured the world for years, even before coming to WWE. But it's getting to the point where Adam Cole needs to retire. I saw that match. It's kind of cringe to watch at this point. As talented as Adam Cole is, he just doesn't have it anymore. He really does need to retire because he's always hurt. He's always limping around. Every time I look up, this man's limping around. I don't care what the issue is. So hopefully he gets it together. He gets it right. This is not good at all. I don't understand that with Adam Cole. But yeah, now like I said, NXT, their numbers plummeted, but the thing about it is NXT, they're setting up, like I said, for their next week's show here. And they always, no matter what the case is, they always put on an overall better show. And like I said, AEW was not bad, but they barely beat NXT in ratings. And you had Bobby Lashley debut, but NXT still got it. They had a lot of appearances with ECW. You had Rob Van Dam show up on NXT from ECW legend. You had Bubba Ray show up on NXT. You know, you have the announcements of next week's matches, everything. But AEW shouldn't have been barely beating NXT in ratings wise. They shouldn't barely beat them. This alone should have held the show down. And then it seemed like if you saw the main event at the end, MVP was calling Bobby Lashley to come out. It was just terrible, man. It was just terrible. It's terrible. And when Bobby is official in AEW, they're going to run this Hurt Syndicate thing. They're going to run this into the ground, obviously. But it does not cut it. It just does not cut it, guys. It doesn't. Sorry, it don't. And it goes on the list.
You just made the list!
It's just bad though. It's terrible about it. Yeah, DJ, it's true. AEW's not doing nothing significant. They're not holding it down. Like I say what you guys want about NXT. Y'all can say what y'all want. This show produces numbers every single week. CBR6 said, I'm ready for NXT at the ECW venue. Yeah, and that is next week's match. Like I said, this card was good. Very good. Very, very good. I like how they work well together on here. That's how it's supposed to be. And then as you can see, next week's match, of course, one of the main matches is going to be the 10-woman tag match. That is between the 10 women that I explained about earlier. And they're just tearing it up in the women's division NXT. They always shut it down. I like how they doing things over there.
Let me take Roxanne. Okay. Yeah, you got it. I'm not done with her. Yes.
Hey, you guys.
So this is great work over here. CBR6, you said, have I made my Crown Jewel review video yet? Yeah, I'll probably put that out tomorrow. I have made a video. I did a live about it, but I'll have the video form out tomorrow. Probably sometime tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. So keep your notification bell on. Keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I did talk about the Crown Jewel. I gave my review on it. I talked about the matches, what I thought about it, and everything. So I'm definitely going to discuss that. But yeah, guys, this just yeah, AEW, they still got some growing up to do. Now, I'm gonna put it like that. They have some growing up to do. There's no way around it. It just don't make no sense how these guys cannot just get it together. I mean, y'all have all this talent on this roster, all this talent floating around the place, and again, you can't even get the job done to pull in at least 800,000. You only pull 628. It doesn't make any sense to me, guys. None. Yeah. AEW. Now, like I said, I think the ratings wise next week, I'm gonna do a prediction now, and I could say since the World Series is over and election night was, the election night's the night before, I will say the viewership. I'm just gonna say this here. I'm gonna do a prediction right now, guys, of how this is gonna play out for next Wednesday. This is how it's gonna go. This is how it's really gonna go. I'm predicting for this week's AEW and NXT, I see NXT. I see them pulling a projected 700,000 to 750,000 for viewership for this Wednesday, November 6th, when it goes head to head against AEW. In AEW, I have projected you will pull in 600,000 to an estimated 675,000 for your viewership on the Wednesday, November 6th episode of AEW Dynamite when it goes head to head against NXT. AEW is normally on Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, depending on your time zone. And NXT, we know it's normally Tuesday, but this week, because of Election Day, this is Tuesday, AEW and NXT will go head to head for real November 6th. We see it right here on this ad. We see November 6th right there. And we see it right here, November 6th. Next Wednesday, they're going head to head. And that's the numbers I have. It's going to be 700,000, 750, maybe more with NXT because we have ECW people there. So I would say at least 700,000. AEW, at least 600,000, no more 675. But they will be AEW next week because, like I said, AEW did win this week. They won the ratings war. But like I said, you barely still beat NXT when it comes down to ratings, guys. You still barely beat them. And that is no good in my book, especially with the plethora of talent you have on our roster. And also just getting Bobby Lashley as your newest acquisition. And a month before that, you had Ricochet as your acquisition. And a couple weeks after that, you had Shelton Benjamin and then an MVP, of course. So in the past month, you had 1, not 2, not 3, 4 former WWE stars in the AEW arena now. And you still can't pull it. What does that say about you, AEW? What does that say about yourself? What you got to say about yourself? Seriously. What's your explanation for this? There's no way you can spin this, AEW. No way.
Spoken and spun like a true politician. I mean,
you cannot spin this any way like a true politician. You can't. Because this is terrible. This is nasty work out here, guys. It literally is nasty work out here. This don't make no sense. No sense whatsoever. You should be pulling way better viewership than this. Way better viewership. So don't make any sense how you pulling in viewers, how you pulling in numbers that you're doing. You know, for that kind of roster, it should be way, way better. Way better. No excuse for that whatsoever. But yeah, it'll go head to head next Wednesday, because we will have AEW versus NXT November 6th. NXT, AEW, come on, man. I'll be really trying to rally up for y'all, try to be positive, but it's just crap is crap at the end of the day. Tyler, salute to you. Yeah, it's just junk is junk. But I will have the Crown Jewel up. I talked about Crown Jewel yesterday. I will have that up. Definitely some memorable moments over there as far as that goes. You know, but definitely some good super chants there that I had. How I felt. We had a couple of those.
we believe. Yes, we believe in Joe Hendry. Suck it. Woo! What? Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I really hope this organization, AEW, gets it together, because the numbers are going to continue to plummet till it gets better. They're going to continue. It don't matter how many people you bring in. It don't matter what kind of main events you have, or these stupid tournaments. If you don't get it together, the numbers are continue to drop every single time. I can promise you that. There's no other way around that whole situation. Like I say, you want to root for AEW. You want them to win, because pro wrestling is pro wrestling. It's not that I just can't stand AEW because I'm a WWE guy. I'm all for pro wrestling. But when it comes to putting out crap and I see no kind of effort, no real production, he's throwing stuff, be throwing it on there, then I got to grill you. And it's not good, because at the end of the day, we know what you're doing, AEW.
I didn't know that. You know what you're doing. I know what you're talking about. I swear and swear. You know what you're a legend, man.
Yeah, so hopefully things change. I mean, I don't see it changing, but they need to really do something about this, guys. They really need to do something about this. This really don't make any kind of sense whatsoever. It don't. It just doesn't. There's no other way to put it. And I'm getting tired of how they're treating this whole thing like it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it does matter. It does matter. And I really hope this company really gets it together. I really hope they could develop their storylines. And I really hope they just don't give us a one-off match, because the show really is going to make people determine should they watch the show or not. We see that. Definitely need to put a pep in your step. And I'm so tired of these special shows every couple weeks too. Tired of that garbage too. Get together, guys, because you're going head to head for the second time this year against NXT. And we saw what happened the last couple times you went head to head. NXT is up 2-0. Earlier this year, Title Tuesday. Last year, Title Tuesday. NXT has won both of those ratings war, and they're gonna win this one too. They're gonna win this as well. Tyler said, I can't wait for until NXT. I hope AEW is doing great that day too. Well, I gave a projection a couple minutes ago of what the viewership is going to be, Tyler. If you look right now, this is the viewership. These are the numbers I have projected for AEW and NXT. That's the numbers they're probably going to end up pulling. So when I come in later after those episodes are done, probably at Thursday, Friday, when I come in, when we see those numbers, which I'm projecting right now, don't say I'm surprised because I already called it way before Wednesday. That's all I'm going to say about that. So do not be surprised that's what we're going to end up with. We could very well end up with those kind of numbers. I don't see AEW pulling no more than 675. Unless a big blockbuster thing happens, a big thing jumps off. That could be very well a possibility. Very well. But it's only until then we see what's going to happen next. Only till then, guys. I think AEW need development show. Yes, I've talked about that before too. AEW needs to change. I would say change Ring of Honor to a developmental show. Make ROH NXT. Since you're not going to combine the AEW or Ring of Honor rosters into two brands like WWE. And if you can't do that for whatever legal reasons, make Ring of Honor a developmental show. Let's be honest. Who's watching Ring of Honor? Let's be honest. What kind of numbers is Ring of Honor bringing in? Who's happy saying, I can't watch Ring of Honor? No one's, average person's not saying that. The real Ring of Honor people are saying it. The Ring of Honor, let's be honest, is nowhere near like it used to be. You know, the days of CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Samoa Joe, Lokai, Jay Lethal, Christopher Daniels, and later on Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Adam Cole, Tyler Black, aka Seth Rollins. You know, the list goes on and on. It's nothing like that no more. Ring of Honor is a joke now. It's because of the person that owns it, which is Tony Khan. And I kind of wish he didn't buy that company. If you guys don't know, AEW was not the first company to get an opportunity to buy Ring of Honor. In 2018, WWE was offered the opportunity to purchase Ring of Honor, and WWE, for whatever reason, declined. They said no. And then that opened the door, the opportunity for AEW to purchase it later on. I think he purchased it 2 years ago now, back in 22, maybe 21, 22. I believe it was 22. It's only been a couple years since he's ran ROH. And let's be honest, he's running ROH pretty much 10 times more than he's running AEW to the ground. To the ground. And you guys see that in the production. You follow a Ring of Honor, especially if you compare it then to now. Tell me why I'm telling lies about this whole situation. I believe I'm telling the full truth.
I'm tired of being nice. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing anything. Now, we can give Ring of Honor, we can say it's only been 2 years since Tony Khan purchased it. We can also say, give it 4 or 5 years. Fine, we'll give it another 3-4 years. But if it's not doing nothing like it should, I believe, like Tyler said, I think that part should be a AEW developmental show. Make Ring of Honor turn to developmental show. Let's be honest, Ring of Honor is already an independent wrestling company to begin with. Why not make it a developmental type of show based like NXT? I'll do you one better. Get the Ring of Honor to try to compete Tuesday night against NXT instead of putting Dynamite against NXT. That'll do you one better as well. But knowing Tony Khan and stubbornness that he has, he's going to pull one of these.
No, brother, it doesn't work for me right now,
So he's not going to want to do it. Tony Khan's too stubborn, too egotistical to even do something smart like that. But, that's just how the game goes sometimes, I don't see him doing it. I could be wrong, then again, I could be right too. I don't see how he's going to pull that and get the numbers off like he should. I don't think it's going to do any much favor for him. I think he should do that. That'd be the best thing for him. But, we can't, some people just can't, you cannot tell anything. But I know one thing, these shows definitely got to get better. They definitely got to get better one way or another. I really hope they do something about the situation here. I really hope NXT, not just NXT, but AEW as well, also get something going. But I don't know. We got to wait and see what happens. I don't know what the next move is going to be. But we'll see. But yeah, it's crazy though. I said AEW, they're still trying to learn it, figure it out. We'll see what else is going on. But I don't know, guys. I really don't know. I don't know what else is going to happen next, because they do have their big episode next week. They are going head to head again. Is that viewers' ownership are down? Well, that's why I don't buy AEW pay-per-views. It's $50. Yeah. The viewership is down, not just for Dynamite, but for Rampage. We're not gonna get to Collision. I don't even think they have any ratings. I get more ratings on this YouTube stream than I can get on Collision. I'm gonna watch that show. Yeah, their viewership is down, and I think they're gonna again lose against NXT for this upcoming Wednesday episode. So, like I said, there'll be no NXT on regular Tuesday, but it will be on Wednesday. We'll go ahead and head against that show. I don't see what any more room they could do for NXT as far as that goes. This is crazy. Yeah, so I don't know what else that's going to be. I don't know what the whole thing's going to be, but I do know that something's going to have to change with AEW. Stop putting belts on the same people. Now, Young Bucks, I know they just lost the belt to Private Party. They shouldn't want a belt in the first place, but I see what they was doing is trying to put over the Private Party. That's good. Jon Moxley's world champion. No. Adam Cole limping around. He can't walk anything, can't move. Is his life dependent on it? No. Adam Page. Who cares about Adam Page? I do not like this Adam Page dude. I do not like him at all. Is it something about the aura? I do not like Adam Page. I do not like this guy. There's nothing unique about him. He's a fake Stone Cold cowboy wannabe. I do not like Adam Page. Every time I see him, I cringe. It's like I get irritated seeing him, and even when he talks, I just get irritated when I hear this dude talk. Every time I hear him talk, I think of this.
Who the hell told you tonight was open mic night, bitch?
I do not like this Adam Page dude. I like Adam Cole. Adam Page, no. Adam Cole just needs to retire, but I liked Adam Cole before he started getting hurt. That Adam Page dude, I can't with him, man. I'm not feeling that at all. He would never work in WWE. They probably wouldn't picked him up. They probably would have released him. He wouldn't even lasted that long, honestly. He's just a lousy. He's just not a good wrestler, in my opinion. He's not a great wrestler. I don't get it. It's ridiculous. I don't get that with Adam Page. Buddy Matthews, this House of Black, I'm not feeling that either. How many times are we gonna run with that angle? Like I say, AEW really needs to start trusting new stars and develop new stars. Create stars for tomorrow, stars instead of using yesterday's stars of yesterday that are all old, washed up, and beat up from the ground up. Stop doing that, and maybe, just maybe, you'll have a better program as a whole. This just ain't it for you guys. It's not it. I don't care what nobody say. There's nothing you can do for that. But I'm just not feeling this whole thing with this whole AEW don't want to push nobody. Now, Orange Cassidy, he cut a good promo. I would like to see him win the AEW World title, who should have it anyway. Not Jon Moxley. At least doing that. What's going on with Jon Moxley's group? What's next for them? They have been destroying all wrestlers. That's what I was going to get into, Tyler. Orange Cassidy cut a promo, like I said, and he's tired of how Jon Moxley's running things in AEW, and he wants to take a stand as far as AEW roster, and he has challenged Jon Moxley to a world title match. He has challenged Jon Moxley for his world title. I think it's going to be at Full Gear, which is later this month. And Full Gear, as we know, I explained that earlier. That is also the same pay-per-view that the Private Party is going to be in. They're going to have a 4-way contendership series. So Orange Cassidy is going to challenge him for the belt. He needs to win it, but they probably let Jon Moxley retain because he's a bad guy. Yeah, so I don't get it. It's ridiculous, though. I don't get it with that. Just create new stars. Stop trying to use the same old people. It's not going to work. It's just not, guys. I'm sorry. It's not going to work. I don't care what you do or what you don't do. It's not going to cut it at the end of the day. I just really hope they get it together as far as that goes. I said, the more people you bring in, the more you got to make stories around it. If you don't do that, it's going to make things worse for AEW as a whole. Let's just call it what it is, guys. Let's call it what it is. I just really hope that this company gets it together because it keeps getting worse and worse for them. At least that's how I see it. But let's see. I think Tony Khan, he needs development on storytelling, and everything. Tony Khan needs to get out of he needs to stop booking stuff and stop letting Young Bucks book stuff. And he needs a real writer and real storyteller, a great storyteller, and someone that can be unbiased towards all the wrestlers, men and women, and just do the right thing. I think he does that, he'll be just fine. But that's the key. If he doesn't, this is Tony Khan. Like I said, he's stubborn. Me personally, he'd do everybody a favor. He just sell the company to someone that actually cares. But we know he's not going to do that either. Let's be honest. It was worth a shot, but he ain't going to do that. He's not going to do that at all. Nope. Not one bit. Should, but I know he's not going to do it. Like I said, Tony's way too stubborn for that. He's not going to do any of that stuff like he should. So, only time will tell us when that's going to be for AEW as we know it. I don't know what else is going to happen. But something, and I mean something, needs to change. Something definitely needs to change. Because this recycling, repetitive, rinse and repeat storyline is just not working. It's not working. But I will tell you this, we're going to see what happens on November 6th. And I want to see how the viewership numbers going to pull, besides watching the matches as a whole, of course. I really want to see what they're going to do with this whole thing here. And I think AEW is going to drop the ball as usual. I really believe that. I don't think they're going to step it up. Unless Shane McMahon, I know where it comes in there. Unless another big person make a debut. But that's only if. That's only if. Let's be honest. So, yeah, but we will tune in to AEW versus NXT. We'll tune into the shows. We will see what the next move is going to be for both shows. Like you guys said, you can't wait for NXT this upcoming Wednesday, November 6th. I can't wait for it either. And I will keep a close eye on All Elite Wrestling and see what they're doing over there on the other side. It will be NXT versus AEW day after election ratings war. That's probably why I'll title it right now, the day after the election. But only till then, guys. And that's all I have regarding NXT versus AEW Dynamite Halloween results. We talked about NXT versus AEW. We are talking about the recent episodes of both shows, which ran from October 30th for NXT. And we're talking about AEW that ran October 31st with the Fright Night Dynamite episode. Thank you all for coming out. We'll have a video coming out in the next half hour. We'll talk about Montez Ford. We talked about the Street Profits again. He made some very bold statements there. check that out. We'll have that coming out. Check the channel, your notification bell. But other than that, though, guys, seem to be able to pop up. You guys click the links below. If they pop on follow up, I hope he don't. I really hope he don't fumble. But I think he will, because he doesn't know what to do. But soon to videos pop up, guys. You guys click the links below. Thank you all for coming out. Until then, guys, you already know what it is. It is OUT.
Like I say this a lot, we're not a sport. We're a movie about a sport, or a TV show about a sport, right? So the interest of all the other...
I feel like the heel turn did wonders for me. There was a sense of reality in that, to where I had hit a point, and the babyface stuff was going great. The Alpha Academy stuff was going great. We had a blast with that. But I'm a realist, and I'm also like a long-term thinker.